Hey everyone, Techne here with a pretty interesting, pretty cool product here to review. A little bit different than what we usually do, but again, I think it's pretty stinking cool. And what we have here is the BenQ ScreenBar lamp right here. Now, there's two things that kind of came to my mind right off the bat when BenQ contacted me about reviewing this here. Number one, opened my email box, I saw an email from BenQ. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, it's BenQ. So I was pretty excited about that, The other thing that came to my mind right off the bat was like, a lamp? Like, come on, guys. Like, BenQ lamp. It's like, BenQ lamp. How about a monitor or mouse? No. But anyways, I started looking into the product, and it was like, wow, this thing looks actually pretty stinking cool. Yeah, send it on over here and let's review it. All right, so now what you get in your box, you're gonna get a little USB right here, and it's pretty nice. It's a flat, one of those flat USBs right there. So whenever you plug it into a computer, it's not gonna really be getting in your way or taking up much space, which I'll show you later on when we connect it right there. You're gonna get the little bracket right here. Now, as you can see, this little deal right down here, it's pretty stinking heavy duty. Like there's some weight in there, right? And then this up here is an adjustable arm with a spring load right there. And what it does, which again, you'll see when we connect it later, it pretty much goes on there and grabs the top of the monitor, and this rests on the back, just pretty much holding it right there for your lamp. Now the cool thing, like I was kind of worried, like, man, I don't want to be scratching my monitor, right? Inside right here, as you can see that shiny part, it's a really soft, like a little rubber coating right there. So it's not going to scratch or anything. It just kind of goes on there and just holds on to it pretty nice and tight back there. Then of course, you get the lamp, which is this little guy right here. Right? So it's pretty cool. You get your little stand right here, just kind of pop it on there, bam, and it locks right into this little notch back there, which is where your USB connector is, and you can adjust it that little bit right there. But again, then it just goes and just connects right onto the monitor. You know what? Let's go on and get a monitor. All right, so we have our monitor here, and we have our lamp. And again, you just snap it onto that little bracket right there, right? You're gonna bring it right to the back of your monitor, pull it out. That little weight's gonna sit right back here, as you can see, and that little lip's gonna go right there, bam, and you're done. And that's really all that it takes up. So let me see if you guys can see. I mean, just check that out. Just right off the bat, it's so minimalistic. It's right there. It's not in your way. And like I said, right on the back, it just sits right back on it. It's that easy. Whichever monitor or whatever you're using, bam, and it just sits right there. Now, if you are wondering as well, whenever you're attaching up here and you have that extra lip right up there, it is also rubberized up there. So you have the little rubber right there and then rubber up on top underneath as well. So your monitor's not going to get scratched at all, the screen or any of the coating, because again, it's all protected throughout that whole deal right there. And that lip on the top, if you guys can see right there, it's super small. So as you can see, this is the edgeless one and it comes right to the bottom there. So this lip does not go into your screen by any means, which we'll look at later when I actually plug it into a PC that's actually on. Again, the bracket does not get in your way at all. All right, so now I had a couple concerns with this guy at first. I was like, well, I'm gonna put it right above my screen. It's gonna be reflecting off my screen and everything, and kind of just really hurt my eyes, because at night I do turn off the lights and I put a little lamp on so I don't have all the lights on in the room, right? And I put a little lamp off in the distance. So I was like, man, well, this is gonna be right there. This is gonna be reflecting off my monitor. It's just gonna be a pain. But what I wanna show you, I killed the light right above us here so we have no reflection. We got a little bit coming off the other lights. But what I wanna do is I wanna turn it on for you. Just watch this here, right? Right, so now we're on. No reflection. Let me just show you one more time. All right, so it's off. Bam, and now we're on. Is that not crazy or what? Yeah, it lights up the table down here, which is what you're seeing in the monitor there, but it doesn't beam off of the monitor. It's like, holy smokes, it is so cool. Now, all those controls we saw on the top earlier, they are just touch sensors, just like our phones or anything. They're not actual buttons you gotta press. So if you go up there and just hold your finger on it, it will adjust. As you can see, this first one we're adjusting the brightness. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I can tilt it up a little bit so you can see better. And then we'll go like this and we can go all the way bright. Again, I know you can't really tell the difference there. And then over here you have this one that's gonna be the warmth or the temperature they call it. So you can get it really bright or turn it like a yellowish there. And then you can see it changing right now, right? So it's pretty cool. Just whatever mood or lighting that you like natural or that really bright one, it has it right there. And then over here, this button, well, with the square that we saw earlier, it's a little sensor, and if you just press it, it's gonna go on and sync up to whatever your room settings are. As you can see, it's just kind of pulsing right there, and it'll set up to the lighting in your room, which is real cool. And then of course, the power button right over there. But again, you don't gotta sit up there and press down on it while it's up on your monitor. It's just like a very light finger press, and bam, you're set. All right, so let's go on and go through those temperature settings with the lights off right now. You might be able to see a little bit better. So again, we're just gonna press our button up here, and you can see it's going to that really bright light right there. There we go, like a little bluish. And then we'll cycle right on down to come into like that more natural, like sunlight, daylight right there. There you go, just like that, you know. So all sorts of options right there. And again, right next to it, you adjust your brightness. I don't know if you can really tell it's going down. And then we'll go all the way up here. All right, so as far as usability, installation, and the access of everything, I think it's easy breezy, and I think it's really good. But let's want to fire it up and put it onto an actual monitor that's in use and see how it actually affects our screen, if any. All right, so what we have here, we have my 32-inch LG monitor, we have my iMac right over here, and then we have a MacBook Pro. And we're going to test it across all of these right here. And what I want you to focus on here during this, we're going to scooch that over. I'm going to turn this monitor off, by the way. So what I want you to focus on really is our work area right here. Now on my iMac, I do a lot of video editing, and that's where I use this lamp pretty much the majority of the time, right? So again, we have the lamp, we got the lights fairly dim. Let me close this one down too so we can just kind of focus on this. And again, kind of look down on our work area here. So I'm going to fire it up right now, right? So we see no reflection coming off of the, let me show you one more time here. So we are off and on, right? It's just crazy. You'd expect all this light just kind of going on and reflecting off of the monitor there, but it doesn't. What it does is has the LEDs kind of pointing outwards right there, and it all comes right down here onto your work area, and it expands out a little bit as well over here. All right, so now let's go on and test it out with the MacBook Pro. Now they do make a light version of this, which is meant for laptops. The little stand's a little bit bigger, because as you can see, when this stand goes all the way down, it's still pretty wide back here. But anyways, we'll put this guy on, and again, this one's pretty heavy, right? But you can put it on right there, and it kind of falls back a little bit, but it sits right there. So if you're, again, on a laptop, bam, it's going to sit right there, because who wants to buy two different ones for a desktop and a laptop, right? Let's get one that's going to work across. Again, it's a little bit looser on a laptop compared to a desktop, right? But hey, it does sit on there. Now, of course, for a MacBook Pro, or I don't know about the Airs or anything, but you're going to have to buy one of the USB adapters because it goes in USB, right? So let's go and plug that right into the side right here. Get our USB, Shazam, and then we'll power it on. And I mean, it's just incredible. It really is. We'll go and set it to the auto right there. The coolest thing, and again, I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'll do it again. So we're off and we're on. It's just amazing how the light just disperses throughout your work area rather than smack dab onto the screen. Like if you're using a lamp or even a light in your room, you know what I mean? It's so cool. And again, is this the ideal situation for this one on a laptop? No, but what I'm trying to point out is it does work. I wouldn't want to go off and buy one for the laptop and one for the desktop, right? It does work, but again, it's not something you can really kind of move around and shake around in the bed. It would probably more than likely fall off because it is on there fairly loose. One other thing I forgot to mention as well, on the iMac and the MacBook, it does not cover the camera up there. The lip is pretty dang small, and it stops right above the camera, so you can still use your camera too, which is a pretty cool touch. All right, so now let's bring it on over to my gaming monitor. This is the LG. It's a 32-inch monitor, and this is where things started getting a little bit dicey with this lamp here, right? Number one is 32 inches, so it sits up a little bit higher. I do have the adjustable stand, but right now it's on the lowest actually, and it's at 32 inches. So whenever I'm gaming, number one, you get a slight reflection right up at the very top. I don't know if you guys can see that up there. Very mild amount. You almost forget about it instantly. But the one thing that really annoyed me about it, right, because if I brought it in even further, it's going to reflect even more. So anyways, I pull it out right there and kind of get the light away from it a little bit. But what started getting to me is now I start seeing the lights right there, right? So when I was on a MacBook or even say a 24-inch monitor, I didn't notice the lights at all because it's down a little bit lower. Now this is all going to depend, of course, how high or low you're sitting in your seat or how tall you are. You know what I mean? But for me, on the 32-inch monitor, no matter what, I always saw a little stretch of lights right back there. And that just kind of started annoying me after a while, actually. The other thing also on my LG monitor, I don't know if you guys know LG monitors, but they got like that, and then they bow out in the back. So the stand doesn't really get back there and get a really good grasp like we saw on the Acer or with the iMac right over here, right? It's kind of just kind of bowed out back there. The leg's not even sitting perfect, so there we go. That's a little bit better, but again, it's not up there super duper secure like the other two monitors we tested on. And that's honestly where I always use it. It is always on my iMac right there when I'm doing all my video editing or anything. It honestly makes the workspace so much better, clutter-free. No eye strain or anything, right? I'm not gonna have to have a big light on during night or anything like that, or just a dim light and then a monitor screaming in my face. It really works out. You know where I was really thinking this is a fantastic product for? Like a dorm room or something like that. Or say if you just got a really tight office area. Like, I mean, here, hold on. Who wants this big old chunker down there, right? This big old guy instead of that, right? This thing's gonna be pointing down, reflecting off the monitor and all that stuff, like who honestly wants this, right? So again, you think about like a dorm or a really tight workspace at your office or something, bam, put this thing up here, forget about it, and it's gonna do all the work for you. Really convenient. And the one other thing you need to put in consideration with this guy is this guy comes in at $100. And do I think it's worth that $100? Again, I think it's worth that $100 if it's that product you need, right? Think about your space and how you're going to use it, and then I'll say, yes, it's worth $100. So all in all, my take on the BenQ ScreenBar lamp right here, I think it's pretty stinking cool. Again, like I said in the beginning, I was kind of like, a lamp, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, we'll see, you know, and I read about it and it looked really cool. But after testing it and everything, it's just like, wow, it was truly a shocker. No shenanigans. It was truly a shocker, and I think it's really cool. But again, I still got to class it there. It's cool and as convenient as it was. You got to kind of sit there and think about it. Are the features and the benefits and all that stuff really going to suit your needs? You know what I mean? Again, with desk space and usability. Again, I use it every day, and it's completely out of the way, which is what I honestly love about it. I have this another big bulky thing stacked up on my desk, and with all that, for me, I think it's a win. So again, just kind of class that and break it up and think about your setup and everything, and will it suit your needs. But all in all, as far as product and usability and features and everything, I give it a win. But hey, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this one. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for some future tech videos. And I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now. Hey, BenQ, I really appreciate you sending this out. It's a really, really cool product. But next time, if you want me testing your product like this, maybe showcasing it on a BenQ monitor might work out a little bit better instead of me showcasing on this Acer monitor. I don't know. Hey, just saying.